Hi, it's Elaine from Penguin Place Crafts. Okay, yesterday I was telling you how I had watched a video by Pieces of Scrap where she did a review of 10 different free Instagram patterns. And 4 of them really caught my eye. Nobody tried to guess which 4. I finished 2. Well, actually, I finished 3 items, 2 of the patterns. Okay. And one of them, when I brought it back here, I set it down and I heard something click. And I still had the stitch marker in the bottom of this project. So I put it on my sweater so that when I go back out to my chair to work, I will have my stitch marker. And I need a sip of coffee. Okay. First of all, I took a little tweedy white, brown, and gray yarn. And let me see who the designer was. Simple Wonders Shop on Instagram. Nope, that wasn't it. That's the second one. Okay. Insp by James had a chicken in a swing. So first I made the cute little chicken. The only thing with this, making it with worsted weight yarn, I used 6mm safety eyes. And it was hard to stuff the head because you've got the posts from the safety eyes pretty much hitting up against each other there. So here we have the first project. There's the little chicken in the swing. I figure I'll mark it as $12 for the set because I'd probably do 8 for the chicken and 4 for the swing. So there was my first chicken. So then, feeling somewhat frustrated with stuffing the head with the safety eyes in there, I decided to go bigger for the next one. I had a sport weight tan yarn in my craft cart that I'm trying to use up. All of the yarns for this were from the top shelf of my craft cart. I'm getting there. I'm making progress. So I combined the same tweedy yarn, what I had left, with 1 strand of sport weight tan, and I took the hook size from F, I think up to H. And here's this chicken. Now, if I got really close, you might notice that the head and the tail are a slightly different color because I played yarn chicken and I lost. So I had a pink shiny yarn in the scrap bag from Lori. So this combines the craft cart use up and the Lori use up. I didn't finish off that yarn. But then, since this guy's chubbier, I used a chunky yarn from Lori's scrap bag to make the basket. Here we go. Ta-da! Since this one's bigger, I'll probably go 14 for this one. Okay, so those are the 2 from that pattern. Then who was the next one I mentioned? Simple Wonders Shop had a pattern for a cockatiel. I did it in worsted weight yarn. Doo-doo. Now I have gray and yellow Bernat blanket from some Go-Go's that I got at Big Lots last year. So I think I'll try to find some white yarn. Oh, then I have to find like a peach for the feet. That may be a challenge. Maybe I could use pink. Or use the yellow again for the feet. I don't know. But I'm going to try making this in Bernat blanket. Just because I can. Because I have this yarn to use up. So that's 2 of the 4 that I got off the video yesterday. What were the other 2? Well, there was Tilly the Tiny Turtle by Crochet with Luna. And I have not started any of those yet. I have plenty of browns and greens out there. So that will be my next project that I'm starting from my Clear the Craft cart. And there was a chubby cat. Now, you might be saying like, another loaf cat. But this one's different. This one starts at the top of the head and works down instead of starting at the nose and working back. So, and it, there we go. It has color patches. So this one is done in yellow and black and white. I have an off-white and I have the bright yellow. I also have orange and I have black. I was thinking that orange, black, and white would probably, probably be a little bit better. But those are the next 2 projects that I want to work on from my Clear the Cart. I'm down to 23. You know, I should have a little tally board behind me to show the progress on Clear the Cart. I think I started at 33 and now I'm down to 23. Lori's scrap bag number 2. I'd have to pull up the picture and count how many items are in that box. I did use up one. I used up this bulky yarn for that. So for this, I was going to use every last bit of the yarn. I was making the basket. I got to the final row. And since it was caked, I took the outside of the cake and I made a 100 chains. So then I went back to going around the edge and I got to within like 2 stitches of finishing up the final row and I ran out of yarn. But I hadn't finished off the chain, so I just pulled out a few chains and that gave me enough to get over. Just left this little tiny end to pull through. Oh no, I had to actually cut the yarn and tie a knot there because it was all attached. And then I actually went in with a different color of yarn to, I didn't leave myself a long enough piece of yarn when I finished off to really secure the chain on that side. So I had to go through and add some more yarn just to make sure it was secure. Sorry, I got a tickle in my throat this morning. But I was saying I should make a little tally sheet that I can hold up or document on each video for the next week or two, where, okay, here's the count for clear the card. Here's the count for Lori's scrap bag number 2. And then in the race to 1,000, here's how many subscribers I'm at. Here's how many Etsy orders I'm at. And see how that's going. I don't know. There are times when I think, because I got 3 Etsy orders last week, oh, Etsy's going to win. And then I got like 3 more subscribers. Oh, maybe YouTube might win. Sometimes I might be a little bit too, concerned with numbers. I might keep track of too many numbers, like too many spreadsheets and all that jazz, but it's fun. It shows progress. When you know how many cakes of yarn you started with on the shelf that you're trying to clear off, and you get, okay, finished off another one. You can see progress, because when you look at the cart, it might look the same as it did yesterday. Although the cart was full on top, and now I can like squish them all to like 2/3 of the cart. So there is progress being made. No progress being made in that box. I said I was going to hop right to it today. I lied. Well, the day's not over yet. Maybe I'll still get something done out of there. Maybe I'll behave myself. Maybe I'll just go back out to my chair and play with yarn all day like I did yesterday. Who knows? There's just so many projects. So I will link the video that I watched from Pieces of Scrap again today. And if you're looking for some quick and easy market prep patterns where you can be there in one sitting and come up with a cute little item that should sell quickly, I'm going to have to figure out, I'm hoping that the weather is nice so that I can have the sides of, not have to put the sides of my tent on. If it's raining, I'm going to have to put on the sides of the tent and be very limited. Like I'll have to be inside the walls of the tent, and people will actually have to come into my booth into the tent in order to shop. If the weather is nice and I don't have to put the tent walls up, I can have the tables right at the perimeter of the tent, and people could just walk around the outside. And when I have stuff down on the tables, I can also have stuff hanging from the tent frame, and more display space, a lot more display space. So we'll see. It's still too far out. It's still a week and a half away to get a long-term forecast and know what the weather's going to be like that day. If the weather was like today, bright sun out there, I don't know what the temperature is, because I have the door closed. If the store was open, I'd be able to see the outside thermometer. But my husband's out working in the garden, so the weather must be halfway decent. And he said he had to put on sunscreen because the sun's shining. If it was like this, there's just a little bit of a breeze out there. I can see the trees just moving a little bit in the breeze, and that would help. You know, sometimes when you're out in the sun, it can get pretty hot. Having that little breeze, this will be a nice weather for the show. We shall see. We shall see. Will this be the show to get me out of debt? Or is it going to be Street Fest that gets me there? We shall see. I would put, talking about this little, spreadsheet of, or list of numbers, like my progress. I could put on there the current status of my spreadsheet, but that would be too discouraging to put it to video after video. Like, okay, I'm currently $680 in the hole. It's what happens when you've got a couple of expensive shows, and the sales tax really did me in. I had to pay my sales tax for all last year. I mean, the money was in the account, but it's just on the spreadsheet. It makes the spreadsheet look bad for a while. And then, let's see, 160, 200, 240, 290. I mean, there's over $300 worth of shows that I had to pay for summer and fall. And that all adds up. And what am I going to do today? I'm going to research some more shows because I really want to see if I can fit in one of a big Christmas show, one of these big shows that goes on Friday, Saturday, Sunday at the fairgrounds or the convention center. It's going to be like a $400 entry, a $400 fee. But I think that would probably be in the thousands for sales. I'd be exhausted by the end of the weekend. And I don't know. I wouldn't be able to take my husband's stuff because they say for this particular show that I'm thinking of, only one category per booth. So I wouldn't be able to take his paintings. But I just think that would be so nice to end the year with my inventory pretty much cleaned up. It's a big step. And the problem with these is I don't know when our family Christmas will be. I suppose if I signed up for a show right away, like very soon, I could let the family know. This weekend, I can't do it this weekend. I am tied up this weekend. Because sometimes we do our family Christmas the first weekend of December or the second weekend, so that our middle daughter, who lives in Pennsylvania, can spend Christmas with family, her husband's family in Michigan. And they like to get things spaced further apart so that it's not just like kids are crazy busy for so long. Give the kids a little time to rest and recover. Yeah. I had 3 kids at one point. Well, the 2 older are 8 and 10 years older than the youngest. So I never had 3 little kids. I had a newborn with an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old who were like second mommies to her. And they all still get along so well. It's so nice. It's such a blessing to see. Like the weekend that I have my upcoming craft show, our youngest from Pennsylvania is coming up to stay with her older sister, the oldest. So she will be here. I won't be able to spend as much time with her as I'd like because I'm going to be at a craft show on Saturday. But we'll get in sometime there. And I got off crocheting and I went down so many rabbit holes, and I need to go have some lunch and get this edited and up before it gets really late, like last night. Last night I made my video, and then between dinner and Wheel of Fortune and puzzles and this and that and the other thing, I was editing at like 10:30 at night. Not good. I hope I spelled everything right in my little boxes here and there. I need to do this while I'm still somewhat fresh and able to know what I'm typing. Just like I don't sew things together after 10:30 at night, I should not be editing videos at 10:30 at night. I've been having fun creating images like penguins playing with yarn. I sent one to my girls in the chat. My daughter was like, wow, you really get into this. So I'm taking my daughter's example because for the oldest daughter's birthday, the youngest generated an image. She said, generate an image of a tall female brunette doctor with glasses and a white lab coat holding a birthday cake. And she got it. She described her sister and got her a picture for her birthday. And that was really cute. So now I'm doing that with penguins and yarn and stuffed animals and all that. I'm having fun with it. I hope you enjoy some of the thumbnails that I've been putting up. So, okay. Enough rabbit trails for one day. It's time to go play with yarn. Bye-bye.